Okay. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Amara Rahman. She just graduated from American University. She's a real source of inspiration. She supported me all year. She's the best friend I've made while I've been in college. And she's actually the one that told me to apply for this. I didn't know it was like something you apply for. But yeah, and thank you for everyone that voted for me. I know that everyone, like all the candidates were really good candidates to speak. I read the little blurb I posted, and I wouldn't have voted for me. Actually, I voted for Sam Borhe. Yeah, I think that she should have been up here. Yeah, shout out to you, Sam. Okay. Now, this isn't a story of rags to riches. I don't much believe in those. But this is a story of a young man who ate well over 1,000 peanut butter and jellies in high school. 4 years later, riding his bike over to In-N-Out. I still don't take Ubers, because if you take an Uber, it's like $5 for the Uber, the burger's $5, and you take an Uber back, that's another $5. That's 3 burgers worth of money, but you only get 1 burger. So I still ride my bike. And I walk up there, and I tell the person working that, yes, indeed, I do want cheese on my burger, because I got it like that now. To be honest, I didn't know anything about Pomona College before I applied. My counselors in high school were pushing me to apply for community college and then transfer to a state school. It was actually my junior year English teacher, Mrs. Coleman, who told me about Questbridge, so I applied through that. I spent my 2-week winter break senior year in my room just applying to 15 different schools, and I really only applied to Pomona because it was in California, and in North Carolina we still have this idea about California like it's the promised land, like it's the best place on earth. So I was thinking about, like palm trees and beaches and Hollywood and events in LA. Yeah. But when I got here, it was really dry and hot. I remember my orientation adventure was to Sequoia National Forest. That's where I made one of my best friends here. His name's Bradley. We get lunch every Tuesday. It's really cute. Parents should be proud. But I was expecting it to be like the Appalachians, where there's trees everywhere. It's a national forest. My first time being in a national forest. I got there, I saw like 3 trees and 1 coyote. The coyote was even sad. Everything was dusty, just like the rest of my year. It was a drought too, just in many ways. And well, don't laugh too hard about that one. Okay. And I really thought about transferring. I reached out to my friends at other schools. I wanted to go to Emory because it's outside Atlanta, and Atlanta's a poppin' city. But they didn't give me enough money. Shout out to Pomona Financial Aid. Mrs. Robin Thompson helped me out there. Yes. But yeah, I had trouble my first year making friends. It was difficult to find people that I related to or related with on a real personal level, and it was honestly difficult to carry conversation a lot of time. But it was the relationships with my professors that really made me stay my first year. I remember Mr. Stephen Marks, Professor Marks. He's my first year economics professor, and last month thesis reader, bless his heart. It was not my best work, but it is done, and I'm graduating. We all are. But he invited me to his house for Thanksgiving, and that really meant a lot. It showed me that people care. Same with Professor Michael Prather. He no longer teaches here. He's a visiting professor. And I asked for extension after extension after extension to the point where he was just like, turn it in when you turn it in. But I would go into his office every single week, and it was like my therapy before I knew what therapy was. I would just go in there and talk about my problems. So he really helped me out. And then Dean Middleton over at OBSA, she sent me over to Atlanta for a conference. And like I said, I really like Atlanta. So I had a good time there. I got to meet up with my sister. But it really showed me. I was like, dang, this place is a very special place. Not special in it's relaxing and fun or exciting, but it's special in that it has a $2 billion endowment. And you could, yeah, sorry about that. And you could do a lot with that. It was a revelation. It's so just by going to a rich school, I could do rich people things. I could live a rich adjacent lifestyle. And and I'll take it. Like, I might not be able to eat at restaurants or buy shoes that aren't Vans or whatever, yeah. But I can get the school to pay for me to go to conferences where they serve fancy shrimp snacks or hors d'oeuvres while wearing a suit that OBSA bought me, and I'm still wearing that suit right now 2 years later. Yes. And then I can come back and share these opportunities with my community, the same people that supported me getting out here. And this was the change in mindset that was exactly what I needed. I accepted things I didn't like about the school, and I decided to focus on all the opportunities and privileges that I'm afforded. And I also started doing my readings. So there I was at the beginning of my sophomore year with a blueprint, a plan, if you will. And now that I accepted that my social life was more or less dead, I had way more time on my hands to take advantage of all the opportunities afforded to me. I got back to my finessing ways, the ways of my youth when I was hustling, selling watermelons on the side of the road with my sister Ivana, she's over there, and the toughness that my mom also taught me. And I really started talking to my professors. And it turned out, after I started doing my readings, and I had like things to contribute to the classroom instead of questions to ask, they liked me a lot more, and they would encourage me to apply to different programs, and this is actually how I ended up in Morocco my junior year as a Boran scholar. I was talking trash with my, thank you, yeah. I was there talking trash with my host sisters, eating really good food, and just like advancing my Arabic and being in a place where, I don't know, I felt like more of a person instead of like a book when I'm here. And it wasn't my first time in a foreign country, but it was my first time being paid to do something that I would have already wanted to do for free. That I would have already done for free, and I loved it. It was nice feeling grounded again to be around people who more appreciated what life had given us, and it reminded me how far I've come, revealed to me how far I'm going to go, and allowed me to recognize all of those who had helped me throughout this journey. That's called I forgot what that's called. I learned that my junior year English class, you do things in like threes, it sounds better. And I was, tricolon, maybe? Okay. I was sitting in the desert outside of Merzouga with Peter, Rosalind, and Neha. This is a dramatic reimagination. I didn't really think about it, but anyway, this made me think back to the prompt of 2015. And the prompt was, what does freedom mean to you? And at that time, I don't know if Sarah's probably here. She read my essay. She was a reader for North Carolina. She's the last reason why I'm at Pomona. Thank you for that. But at that time, I was sitting in my room, winter, writing my applications, not proofreading them. I didn't really have anyone to proofread them. So really, thank you for letting me come here. And I was just thinking, freedom at that time for me was being able to move across the country and pursue this dream and chase opportunities. But my concept of freedom has changed as I've been exposed to so many different privileges. So now freedom for me is having the opportunity to do something like this, or going to Morocco and studying and getting paid to study and graduating with more money in my bank account than when I started, and being able, wait, I wrote that later, hold up. So yes, I have a more expansive idea of freedom now. And it's the freedom of being supported by the people in this crowd and my family and the people on this stage as well. And it's this sense of support from professors and administrators and students and family that is what makes this place so great. It has afforded me many privileges, not in the intergenerational wealth sense, but in the sense that I can start my own scholarship fund for the students that I mentor over at Pomona High School just by reaching out to alums. Thank you. Yeah, we've raised about $3,500 so far, and we're going to give the awards on Monday. Yeah, it's incredible. Now, one of the most boring and generic questions I would get during tours, and I've done many tours, hundreds of tours. I gave a tour to Sasha Obama once. That was pretty. It was a baller moment. But the question I always get is, if you could go back in time, would you come here again? And I used to kind of put some sugar on it, some honey, a little cherries on top, because there's more snakes and fakes than I would like there to be. Y'all know it's true. There's a lot of good people too. But last Sunday, when I was riding back from San Diego in senior week, I actually went, shout out to Chris Flores, he hosted me the whole time, made me feel welcome and comfortable. I was asked this question again. And this time, even though I wasn't being paid by the Office of Admissions, I said yes, I sincerely would, because the opportunities and knowledge I've gained here will be celebrated for generations. This school has brought me a level of stability into my life, which would have been otherwise unachievable. And with the support of this school, I am graduating with no loans, a job, and invaluable connections. Yeah. And I'm graduating with way more money than I started with. Don't tell the IRS. We haven't worked that thing out yet. And I'll probably never have to worry about money again. And for me, that's a very important thing. I've had to pay for school as I've been here. I've been working since I was like 14 years old. Only my sister will get this, but when I was like 11, I had to pay for my own $50 skate park membership. It was a year membership. My sister got to go to dance lessons every single month. My mom was dropping like $100 on her. I was like, can I get $50 for this membership? She was like, no. So anyway, I've been having to make money all my life, so it's nice feeling comfortable. Oh, don't tell the alumni office about that either. They're gonna be calling me pretty soon. But yeah, with all these privileges and all these opportunities, I might even take an Uber over to In-N-Out after this. But don't tell my kids when I have them that I'm this well off, because I'm gonna still make them work to put that cheese on their burgers. Thank you.